Alrighty, welcome to 101 for first week. Apologies for not being available. So the first thing is the size. Let's go back here and just double check the size of your submissions. There's been a little bit of confusion. Hopefully the messages help sort that out. But what we want is for you to have them under 15 megabytes at the moment, preferably under 5 if you can manage it with good quality. And then in the future, when your films are longer, they need to be under 25 megabytes. So that will be the final few assignments. So here we go on to the first one. Okay, we have beautiful foreground going on and really nice background happening as well, but the focus is on the thing in the front that's moving. That's really nicely done. Good wide. It's nice to start a pan with 2 seconds of still camera at the start and then pan and then 2 seconds at the end. That's really good to know for the future. It's great to see you taking your camera out onto different locations and getting it out of the house. I think is really important unless physically unable to. So you've got really nice locations here. This is a great example of, in the film example that we gave you, but taking it into another location, which works well. So this one here, I think that you've had problems with the formatting because it goes, oh, where's it gone? There is a top and bottom, wait. As you can see, it's quite high and it's not allowing me to even get to the bottom of it. So we'll play through it anyway, but please have a look at the video if you haven't already of the settings for export, and if you're still having a problem, please let me know in a quick question. So that's a really nice shot of the eyes behind the couch. This isn't going to play either for some reason. There we go. But it does look like a still. All the footage does need to be live footage. This is a film course, so make it all film. So please resubmit. Email me if you need some help with the export. Take video footage and resubmit so that we can understand that you know the first week and you can pass that part. Now what I like to do with your films is make them as completely anonymous as possible. And there's one more comment about the audio. If you are including audio in with your films, please make the audio no louder than -12 decibels. So that's to prevent blowing people's speakers and ears out. So that's a really nice location again. It's not as exotic as going outside, but the framing of that shot worked well. Good focus in here, really nice subject matter in that one. Good to take the camera around a little bit more to the left so that you can get, yeah, like that, an unusual frame on it. And often we see things at eye level, most of the time in the day we see things at eye level. So just taking the camera and putting it up high or down low, giving different angles than eye level is really good to do. Nice work.
Bro, you thought you were cheap for buying $3 shoes? Mum just bought a $1 shoe.
Nice comments. Really good close up.
It just means it's zoomed out.
An interesting door and really, really nice lighting. The shooting it at night gives a completely different feel. Also very strange angle on the camera there, made it for a very interesting shot. And that one as well, a great shot. Now I did hear the radio going in the background, and that brings me to a really important, really good point, which is please don't include any copyright material at all. It's one of the fundamentals of filmmaking. You need to own everything that is in your film. So anything on the radio, anything on the television, any pictures around that you don't own the copyright to, don't include them. Cool, nice work. Okay, so most of the footage that we've been looking at has been 16 by 9 because it's filled these sides of the frame here. This is in 4 by 3, which means that there's just doesn't fill this size of the frame, which is called aspect ratio. 16 by 9 and 4 by 3 are different aspect ratios, which you'll learn about as well. The previous shot, I would leave that until the movement has finished. That's a really nice shot. It's a really good angle for the house. That one as well. Try and focus on that little chrysalis, chrysalis, so that it gives the camera and the audience something to focus on. There was one comment earlier in the piece. That would be great as just a still shot. Now you'll be learning about the rule of thirds this week, which will help you with your framing as well. And this previous one here, this shot here, it's fine to tilt it all the way up the pole, but get this stuff at the top of the pole. Tilt the camera all the way up, show what is on top of the pole, because we can just see a glimpse and we want to see what is completely at the top there. So take the camera all the way up and then hold for 2 seconds at the top and then stop that shot. It doesn't have to be 2 seconds, but it just gives you enough room to edit and make it flow and stop really nicely. And filmmaking is a lot about rhythm. And now you can name your films if you want, but I'm trying to mark them anonymously and give feedback, more importantly, anonymously, so that you look at the film as a film rather than the person making it. Beautiful shot, really nice location, and the light works incredibly well. Really nice. That is indeed a close-up sheet, excellent. Really nice stop motion, and the other one it wasn't stop motion. It's a great angle as well. You've gone to a great location. That is an incredibly wide angle. Excellent. For the full zoom, just I would suggest, it looks nice with it's all out of focus, but I would suggest also having a think about what you want to focus on. You're working with moving footage, so you can change focus in the middle as well, but just have a reason to. Really nice shot of the spider. Interesting angle on a drone. Yes, the drone footage works incredibly well because it does give us an angle that a lot of us haven't seen before. But there was an angle that we have seen before, but because of the use of the light and the time lapse, that's the word I'm looking for, my brain's a little fuzzy at the moment, then that has added more interest and intrigue to the footage. Really beautiful work. One of the things I like about this course is that you see lots of different filmmakers shooting in lots of different ways and learning. We're all learning in lots of different ways. So the previous had a really nice colour palette of quite a lot of browns, and this has a much more vibrant colour palette. Now, I'm just mentioning colour palette because I don't think it's mentioned in the course, and it's a really good thing to look at. Beautiful, that was a really nice shot. It took a long time, it had space, it was just very simple. Is it bookended by the flower again? Nice, excellent. I see what you're doing there. I was wondering what all the vehicles were doing driving by, but you were actually making a film comparing the flower and the beauty and peace of it to the noise and hubbub of what was going on the road. And I really like the way you did that. I would like all of you to think about filmmaking now that you are filmmakers. Use that to submit, if you want, every assignment you can make a film out of. Keep within the brief, please keep it short, please have each specific thing we want to have in your assignment so you can pass, but also you're more than welcome to use and utilize the brief that we have given you to make films. Nice shot, the bokeh effect, the depth of field in that shot previous worked really nicely. Same with the previous bookend shots of the flower. The focus faded out behind the object, which was great. Really nice angle you've got on here. Beautiful. That's just the movement in the shot and the focus. Yeah, that's a gorgeous shot. And really nice ending, very strong. There's also quite limited colour palettes in this shot as well, and that makes for a stronger shot. Good shot. It's nice, simple and effective. From now on you can use tripods, you can use dollies, you can use whatever you want. Just the main and most important thing to do is learn the fundamental basics. You don't have to go fancy at all. Doing something simple and well works. That's a really nice shot as well. The where the tree is angled towards the camera, you've obviously gone right down low and it works with a lot of impact. So it's excellent to see you getting completely out into another element. I think shooting in your backyard is fine, but if you challenge yourself and really go out to different locations, you definitely do get more interesting footage. That is really good. The rocks in the thing were great, and that's amazing. Beautiful shots. Excellent. Ah, that's really beautiful with the close-up with the bubbles revealing to show the rocks. Cameras are really good to use to show things or reveal things. When you do your pan shots and your crab shots, if you go from one object to another, or you go from a blank wall to reveal a messy room, or whatever you choose to do, going from one thing to another or showing something in your camera movement is a really good motivation for moving the camera. But a lot of the impact in a camera is to hold the camera still and let the movement happen within the scene, which is that was a really good example of. Here is another one. Interesting looking sheep, they look like Awapara. Good focus on the eyes. So even if people have glasses on, focusing on the eyes, because that's where we want to see. Really nice last shot as well. Good, nice movement in that sun shot. These are all really good representations of a beautiful day, and the soundtrack goes nicely along it. Beautiful close-up of that slug too, great example of movement in a shot. Interesting sound on that fan. Nice moving shot. The fan shot, so that's a really good opening shot. It works really nicely. The fan shot, if you get, because there's really good sound there, if you get the camera down lower and closer to the fan, then we'll be able to see the action of the blade going around in the fan while being able to still see that it's a fan. Especially if you go down to the right, then the camera will kind of go close to the darker part, and then you'll be able to see the more of the fan and the further away of the frame. Great location, really nice movement in that frame as well. Wasn't it hard to hold your camera? It's really hard to do a handheld of a camera. That's nice and smooth. So when you're on a bridge or on a car or anything like that, then use those things to help you hold the camera in your hand. And always remember to lock your shoulders in and stand with bouncy knees and really brace yourself like you're providing a stable tripod. A really, really nice location for these shots. That zoom, I don't usually like zooms and I don't usually recommend them because in the 70s they were way overused. But that zoom was really nice and smooth and flowed quite well there. So it's really smooth, it's really good movement, especially if you're handheld. That one worked well. So try to avoid zooms because they were overplayed and they're very, very hard to edit in and out of. But that one is an exception to the rule. Again, a nice bokeh effect. What you'll see quite often is a recurrence of things. If people film in their backyards, you see a recurrence of backyards, and that's where often I'd suggest to you, people often film their pets or their flowers or whatever, so I'd suggest just challenge yourself a little bit more. If you're going to film your pet, make it an amazing shot. Really nice to see the outside and the location. Those two shots worked really well with a close-up. That's a really nicely framed shot. And that one is a really good camera angle on a very interesting object. That is a thoroughly interesting object. Oh, nice. Nicely done. That's amazing. That's a really good tilt up to reveal what the object actually is. Well done. Good example of movement in a frame. Often we want to focus, as viewing something, we want to focus on the nearer object and we want to focus on the moving object. So if you're not sure about what to focus on, do choose those two things. Good. The final shot, when you're moving the camera, always decide what you're moving it to and from, for from and to. Get those around the right way, and then that will give you a really nice, strong, stable shot. Good. It's nice to see with a close-up, as you're tracking around, you're revealing different things. Ah, that's great movement. Oh, that's a tricky one. Nicely done. Yeah, really good. So you can tell it's handheld and it's tricky, but I think are you manually focusing there? I would really, really recommend to everyone to practice as much as you can manually focusing, because when you start pushing and pulling that focus like you would your own eye is when you start to be able to really capture stuff and movement and things. So this is a really nice last angle as well. Okay, we have two more. Thank you very much for your patience. Really nice close-up on that. That's a great way to get a camera to automatically focus. And you guys are doing a push-pull or a change of focus in your assignment coming up soon. And if you have a camera that only has manual focus, that's going to make it tricky to do any filmmaking. But if you do, then you can do this to change the focus. So the camera itself moves from something near and then frames the further thing away, and the focus changes to that further thing away. So a slow movement will help. Make sure it's focused on one thing, and then the slow movement, and that allows for the camera to get to the other object. And actually, I think that was an exposure change possibly as well. Hard to tell, but that is how you're going to get a really good smooth focus change. Nice to show the people walking and then reveal around with the pan. That's a pan reveal around to show the location in which they are walking in. Beautiful location as well. It did say take your camera for a walk. Really nice to see that people have taken their cameras for walks. It shows. Now these are in absolutely no order. It's whatever the system decides to download. It might be the fastest, it might be the earliest people, I'm not sure. So focus on the eyes of the cat. You can see the camera is focusing just behind the cat on the whatever the cat is lying on. And that will definitely make for a much stronger shot. You'll learn about the composition in your shots, and that will help strengthen your shots as well. That's a great shot. That's a really nice location. Great movement in that shot. That's nice. You could see it really close to the bark, and all we could really see was the bark. So yeah, that was the example that you got given, but I really liked what you did with it. You made it into yours, and that's a really big strength as a filmmaker. Alrighty, thank you very much. I hope you learned. See you next week.